Hi friends, it's Miss Jill. I miss you guys a whole lot. Today we're going to do therapy from my kitchen floor because when we make spills on the kitchen floor, it's way easier to clean them up than it is around the rest of the house. We're going to talk about how to open packages today so that you guys can practice this while you're at home, and when we get back to school you can show me all the things you can do. But first I'm going to introduce you guys to my family so that you get to know who I'm at home with right now. This is the dad of our family, Mr. Mike. This is my little dog, Bo. He's asleep right now. We've taken lots of walks today. Usually he would be on the floor with me trying to open all the packages by himself. This is my son, Ian. He's 16. He used to be little like you guys, but he's big now. This is my daughter, Lexi. She's home from college at Ball State. She's gonna take a video for me today. Opening packages is really important. We do it every day, all day long, and it's something that we need to use both of our hands together in the middle of our body. We pinch, we squeeze, we pull. It uses a ton of hand skills that we can practice every day. These skills are especially important when it's time to go to kindergarten because we have all of our lunch packages in the kindergarten cafeteria, and we only have 2 or 3 lunch ladies to help us out. So if we can open our own packages, then they can help all of our other friends. The first thing we're going to learn to open today is a banana, and bananas are really, really hard. Our moms and our dads like to open them by pulling the top of the banana, but for little hands, that's difficult. So I always teach my friends at school to open their bananas like the monkeys do. And what you do is you find one of the creases in the banana and you push your thumbnail in there. Or you can do both thumbs at once and push into the crease. I think it's easier for little people to start with just one. So they hold the banana with their non-dominant hand and they push in with their thumbnail with their dominant hand. And when they push in, the banana peel will come apart and then they can use their fingers to pull it open. It's the easiest way to open a banana, and it's the way the monkeys do it. A lot of our lids in school have pop tops. The one that I think is the hardest for kids are Play-Doh. I don't have any Play-Doh at home because my kids aren't little anymore. So I brought some of my Tupperware containers out to give you guys an idea of how we can do that. This container with the red lid is really hard to open. So it's a lot like a Play-Doh container. For most of my friends in preschool, I open it part way for them and then let them pull it the rest of the way. Now containers like this one with the blue lid are a little bit easier because they're a little lighter weight and they have this nice tab on the side. So I teach my friends in preschool to use their non-dominant hand, and I'm using my left hand, but some of my friends are left-handers, so their non-dominant hand is going to be their right hand. Let's hold the bottom with our non-dominant hand, and then we're going to pinch the lid with our dominant hand, and we're going to pull that lid open. That's a little harder than you think. A lot of our friends will need somebody to help them hold the bottom so that they can use both hands to pull. So that's a good thing for parents to do, is hold on to the bottom and let the kids pull with both hands while you steady the container. The reason I'm doing this on the floor is because when we're learning to open containers, they're generally going to have something in them, and that's going to get messy. And that's a great way to get kids to work on containers. If you put their favorite thing inside, like a chewy granola bar, then to get the snack, they have to practice opening the container. In your kitchen, you're going to have all kinds of neat containers that you have to spin to open the lids. We always get concerned with little kids because there's a choking hazard when we work with little lids like water bottles and that type of thing. A lot of my preschool friends will be able to open water bottles without a problem, and those are really great things to practice on. But some other lids that are a little bit bigger that don't present a choking hazard would be a spice container or a container of peanuts or peanut butter if you guys don't have allergies in your house. The nice thing about these smaller containers is a little student can get their hands all the way around the lid to help them turn it, but they aren't so small that they present a choking hazard. So what I like to do a lot of times is I like to empty out one of these spice containers, pick the one that doesn't smell too bad and that you don't use very much, and put the spices in a Ziploc bag, clean out the container, and then whatever their favorite little treat is, whether it's M&Ms or Reese's peanut butter cups or chocolate chips or goldfish, you put that in the container and you put the lid on. And then you show them how to twist the container open and pour the treat out into their hand. I always put one treat in at a time because that gives them more practice to open and close. The other great part of this is activity is once they've got it open, they can learn to pour things into their hands. Pouring is a really great activity to learn because you have to be slow, you have to be careful, and you have to make sure things fall into your hand and not all over the floor. Here are a couple other lids to open and close. One thing that you'll need to be careful with kids is sometimes lids are really, really tight and you can't get it open if you've got a little hand. So when that happens, go ahead and loosen the lid for them a little bit and then let them practice opening it. And it'll make things a lot easier for them. The other thing that you need to remember is that a lot of times they haven't had a chance to open a lot of containers by themselves yet. So you might need to show them how to do it and then show them how to close it back up. You might have to put their hand on top of the lid and then put your hand on top and actually do this activity with them hand over hand so that they can learn how to do it. But there's a lot of interesting different things in everybody's kitchen to work on opening. So twisting is a really good skill to learn. Bo heard that there were snacks to be had, so he decided he was gonna come and help me. So a lot of containers that kids have, especially for snacks and at lunchtime, are tab top containers. These are a little harder than you would think because you've got to hold it with that non-dominant hand, pinch and pull with the dominant hand. So a lot of kids have a lot of problems with this. To make it a little easier for them, I always let them try it themselves first, and if they can't do it, then what I'll do is I'll pull it part way and then they can pinch it and pull it the rest of the way, and that's a success experience for them. And they'll learn to get it all of the way. One of the hardest things to open in cafeteria is applesauce or mandarin oranges. And the thing about these containers are that even if you can pinch them and pull them, if they're pointed towards your body, I always tell the kids they're gonna burp on you, which means that the liquid from the mandarin oranges or the applesauce is gonna pop out on your clothes. A lot of my friends don't like to get messy, so we want to keep that from happening. So a way to teach them to do this where it can be neater for them and they're less worried about it is to turn the tab away from their body. And it's always easier to pull it towards your body than away from your body because you have more strength when you do it that way. So you pinch and you pull it towards your body. These two types of containers, applesauce and mandarin oranges, are really, really hard to open. So if they have a foil top like this one, there's a sneaky way to get around it. You take your spoon and you punch a hole in it. And then you use your fingers to pull the rest of the container open to get out what you need to get. There's lots of containers in the cafeteria that are gonna be hard for little hands to open. No, Bo, there's no applesauce for you. So you can use this trick with the end of your spoon or your spork on a lot of different things in the cafeteria. You can use it on the plastic bags that hold apples. You can use it on the plastic bags that hold grapes or carrots. All you need to do is you need to stick that spoon and make a hole, and then you stick your fingers in the hole and pull it apart. Next, we have containers where you need to pinch and pull. Containers that you guys might have in your house where you need to do this are goldfish containers or gummy bear or fruit chewy containers. I don't have any of those because my kids are big. So I've got some other containers that are a little bit like that to show you guys how to do it. One you might have in your house is a granola bar. And the nice thing about the edges of a granola bar is they have a serrated edge. So all of my preschoolers, I'm working with the pinch and pull method with them right now. The other things you might see, I didn't have a ketchup packet, but I've got a packet of dressing. I have a Capri Sun packet. Some of these packets will have a little cut in them to help you open them. If that happens, you use that one to your advantage. You pinch both sides of it, and usually what I do is I make sure that my non-dominant hand stays still and my dominant hand pulls the package towards me. So my thumbs need to touch each other like this, and they need to be facing my body, but they aren't, but you get the idea. And so I'm gonna hold my non-dominant hand still, and my dominant hand, I'm gonna pull it towards my body. And that's how we open those kinds of containers. We've been working on this with friends at school for the last couple weeks in paper tearing activities. So we use the same motion where they hold both pieces of the paper strip, they have their thumbs together, their non-dominant hand stays still, and their dominant hand pulls towards their body. So my granola bar doesn't have one of those little spots on it, but it's easy for you to make one. All you need to do is pull out a pair of scissors. And this makes the activity a little easier for friends if you cut a little tab, and then they can pinch and pull apart to open some of their containers. This one you can see has that serrated edge on it. I'm not gonna open it right now because I don't wanna have dressing on my salad tonight. So the other place you see containers that are really hard to open are all of our potato chip containers. Sometimes we'll get lucky and they'll have one of those little cuts on the top, and you can make that, and when you send your kids to kindergarten, you can make it in their containers, and they can learn to look for it and pinch and pull. But the other method we use to teach kids how to open these containers are pinch the sides and pull. So you pinch on the non-dominant side, you pinch on the dominant side, and you pull apart. And a lot of times kids are gonna need some hand over hand help to do that. So maybe their hands are set up this way and your hands are over the top and you pull it apart together. Or maybe you start it for them and then they just pull it apart the rest of the way to learn the motion. We have a lot of containers that they eat out of, kids snacks especially, that have that kind of opening. And what I see a lot of kids do is they'll go by and they'll go pop with their fist and they'll pop it that way, and then chips go everywhere and there are tears. So we want to teach them the right way to open that container. Another container that a lot of kids will encounter in the house and at school are Ziploc bags. So I have two kinds of Ziploc bags for you. The first kind of bag, the easy kind of bag, is the one with the zipper top. And they just need to learn to pinch the top with their non-dominant hand and pinch the zipper with their dominant hand and pull it back and forth. So then we turn it around to close it the opposite way. They're still pinching the bag with their non-dominant hand and pinching the zipper with their dominant hand to pull it closed. This is a great thing to practice with snacks inside so that they learn how to open and close it. This is the easier kind of Ziploc bag. Here's a harder kind. The harder kind is the kind that doesn't have a zipper on it. And that one you have to pinch both sides. So your thumbs, once again, one is gonna be on the left side, one is gonna be on the right, and the thumbs are gonna touch each other. And they're going to pull away from each other to open the bag. If you think learning to open a Ziploc bag is hard, you should see how hard it is to close a Ziploc bag. This is something that preschoolers have a big problem learning how to do. So if you've got a dry erase marker, it is really helpful for you. What you do with your dry erase marker is you make a line along the zipper. And then a lot of times what I'll do is I'll hold the bag still for them, and then the only thing they need to do is they need to run their finger along the dry erase line and make the ink disappear. And when you do that, that pushes your bag together and it's closed. The other place you're gonna find a lot of cool containers to open is the bathroom. And the kids are in there taking their baths and brushing their teeth every day. So at our house, we have some Minion body wash. So it's one of those pop tops tabs. And what you do is they hold it with their non-dominant hand and they use their finger or their thumb to pop open the top. Oh, that one's really hard. So on that one, I would teach them to do it with their thumb because they have a little more power with their thumb sometimes than they do with their index finger. Another good thing to practice opening is hand lotion. This one is another pop top. Pop. And then they get to squeeze a little on their hands, and squeezing is an important skill to learn how to do, and rub their hands together. You're gonna see pop top on some of your hand gels, especially if you're getting desperate and getting them at Bath and Body Works. So that's another one where they hold it still with their non-dominant hand and they use their thumb to pop it open. Now, when I'm showing you this, we're popping it away from my body. If I were doing this myself, I would have it pointed towards my body and I would be pushing away because that's a little bit easier motion. At school, a lot of my friends have problems with glue sticks. Now, you guys might have some glue sticks at home. Like I said, I have big kids. I don't have any glue sticks at home anymore. But something that's a lot like a glue stick and kids really have a good time with is chapstick. It has that same pop top lid, and usually what I have them do is I have them thumbs together again, one thumb on the lid, one thumb on the body, and I usually have them pull away with their dominant hand because that's generally the stronger of their hands. So they can learn to pull it off, put a little chapstick on their lips, and push it back on. The other thing a chapstick and a glue stick both have are a twist bottom to make things go up and down. Now this is a pretty exciting thing and kids kind of get a little overly excited with it sometimes. So learning how to twist things up and down just enough is important. Usually what I tell them is when it's a glue stick, we go 1, 2, time to glue. And then it doesn't get twisted all the way up and broken. So this is a really good school activity to practice. Another thing that a lot of kids will see once or twice or 3 times a day are the lids of toothpaste. So these are really hard, and these actually are quite a bit like the lid to a water bottle. They have a serrated edge, and some friends don't like that bumpy edge on the side. Now, kids' toothpaste is going to be a little different than adult toothpaste. So my guess is that what they have in their bathroom is not this kind of toothpaste, which actually is a good thing because when you teach them to open the toothpaste, you end up finding it all over the bathroom. But if your toothpaste looks like this, they can come and be your helper and open your toothpaste. And then it's in your bathroom, someplace where they aren't necessarily going to be or get into, so you're less likely to have toothpaste squished all over the bathroom. It's another thing where I have them hold it with their non-dominant hand and pinch with their dominant hand. And usually what I do is I have that tube flat and I have them twist it toward their body. Pinch and twist towards their body. That's a great little container to work on opening and closing in the bathroom. And last but not least, all preschoolers love Band-Aids. And Band-Aids are fun to open, and they offer a lot of opportunities to pinch and pull. And this particular Band-Aid, the way you pinch it open at the top is just like a cheese stick in the cafeteria, and cheese sticks are the hardest things to open. I didn't even get one out, they're so hard to open. But Band-Aids are a little bit easier, and it shows the kids how to use that same motion to open, and that will transfer over to opening cheese sticks when they have them in their lunch boxes. So what you want to do is you want to have the edges folded open and have them pinch each side. Once again, their thumbs are going to touch each other. And When we do it, we pull both hands away at the same time. That's one way to do it. The other way is for them to hold one still and pull away with the other side to open up the Band-Aid. And this is better than snacks in a container. A Band-Aid is the world's best prize. So once you've opened it, you still have these two tabs, and this gives you another opportunity to pinch both of these and pull away to get the tabs off. You may have to hold it and give them a little help. And then once they're done, pop, they've got a Band-Aid to slap on their hand. Opening all these packages is a great way to practice using our hands when we're at home. And we're all gonna be at home for a little while. The other thing it does is it gives our preschoolers a great sense of achievement to be able to do things their own. It's great for them to have success experiences every day. If they have problems, send me an email, let me know, and we'll figure out how to make it work. If they have successes, send me a picture. Let me see how they open packages for you. Good luck, and I'm around if you need me.